it is World Series or bust. Like, it is a opportunity for them to do kind of like a Braves of 2021.
We're going to start today with injuries suck. And I say that wholeheartedly because my Los Angeles Dodgers are banged up, boys. AJ, let's start with you. What was the initial response when you saw Mookie Betts get hit with the broken? Now he has a broken hand, surgery not required, but he's out for some time.
Oh no, another one goes down. It's been a long year with injuries. A lot of big time players. Acuna, Strider. Now Mookie's out. Just so many guys are going down. Garrett Cole's missed the whole season. A bunch of guys, so many guys have missed, and there's no reason for it. It happens every year. It just seems like it's been bigger names this year, and it just sucks for baseball because Mookie was my MVP pick, and he was on his way to get it.
Yeah, he's having an MVP type of year. And Kratz, Dave Roberts, Dodgers manager, also sharing that Yoshinobu Yamamoto has a rotator cuff strain. Again, surgery not required, but he's on the IL as well. From your perspective, Kratz, what's more problematic, Mookie going out or Yamamoto being on the shelf?
No, Mookie going out. And I get it. The lineup is going to be fine without him. Yamamoto only pitches once every 5 days. Maybe that's the reason his shoulder's barking a little bit. Not used to pitching every 5 days, but I felt like they've done a good job of not pushing him just automatically to those 5 days. Like if they had an off day, they wouldn't just, flush him right back out there. But they'll be fine. They'll figure out the pitching. This lineup and Mookie was lightning hot to start the year. He was ridiculously hot. He's kind of cooled off some, but you can never take exactly what AJ said out of the lineup. An MVP candidate, I don't care if you have 6 MVP candidates, you need that in the lineup, and he was your everyday shortstop for almost the entire season.
Let me ask you this then, because you both agree that the Mookie Betts injury is more problematic than Yamamoto. I agree with you in the short term. I agree with you in the regular season. But if a key pitcher versus a key position player goes down in the postseason, what's more problematic? Because you don't know what you're going to get when Yamamoto comes back, when he does. You don't know what you're getting from Kirsch. Bobby Miller's supposed to start on Wednesday for the Dodgers. You don't know what you're going to get from him. You don't have Dustin May, and Buehler's not back to form. So then you're counting on Tyler Glasnow and Gavin Stone. Does it become more problematic, AJ, in the postseason?
Well, of course. And the Dodgers haven't been great in the postseason anyways, but their starters only go 4 innings because that's the Dodger way. So, it's problematic. And the thing that worries me is a shoulder. Anytime you see a shoulder, because shoulders are bad. Elbow, you'd be like, okay, he can come back from an elbow, but you just don't want to see shoulder stuff. And is it problematic now? No, the Dodgers are going to win the division. But I think that, yes, if they get into the playoffs or when they get into the playoffs, whoever they match up with, they're going to need Glasnow healthy. They're going to need Yamamoto healthy. They're going to need Bobby Miller healthy. They're going to need everybody healthy. And this is a big blow but when they get to the postseason, if he's not back.
All right. Defensively, it looks like Miguel Rojas, guys, is going to be taking over at short in the interim while Mookie Betts is on the shelf. As far as the lineup construction is concerned, Kratzy, it looks like you could move Shohei up to the leadoff spot where Mookie Betts was hitting. They've done that before on the rare Mookie Betts day off. As far as batting is concerned, how much do you see the lineup construction changing, if at all?
I mean, you're never going – the biggest thing Dodger fans need to understand is you're never going to find Mookie Betts out there in your organization, on your current 26-man roster, even in a trade. You're just not going to get that. So when you can slide the stat that we got here on the screen, 820, 892 OPS, Shohei in the leadoff spot, I think it's gonna do well. Like, to me, you just slide them both up. You slide Freddie into the 2 spot, and you have Shohei leading off. Look, you only lead off once. The next time up, you're not the leadoff hitter anymore. You're just the next hitter after the 9 hitter. So to me, you get him up there. He gets a few extra at-bats during this time. Shohei's going to be fine. Yamamoto, even if he's healthy, just to hit on the last thing about that injury, is this was going to be the question mark anyway for the Dodgers, was how is this starting rotation going to play out? It could look really good in the playoffs, but the reality is they didn't hit last year. It wasn't the pitcher's fault.
Yeah, you're right. They haven't been good in the postseason the last couple of years, getting bounced in the first round. A good thing we're talking about this, gentlemen, on June 17th versus August 17th when the trade deadline has already come and gone. The Dodgers likely were going to be buyers anyway, of course, because they know that they're going to the postseason. So how does this change things? Do you go after a starter, a frontline starter, a back end of the rotation starter? Do you go after another middle infielder? AJ, what are you doing if you're Andrew Friedman in the Dodgers front office?
Well, it's World Series or bust, so you go for both. But I don't know if they'll go for a frontline starter. I think they're going to go more for an innings eater, middle of the rotation guy, and then they need some help in the lineup. Listen, after the first five with especially with Muncy out, but the back of the end of their lineup is not good. I'm sorry, it just hasn't been good. After Teoscar, it has been really bad. So they got to find somebody that can come in and play short/second, do whatever they got to do, and figure out a way to make this lineup deeper. To me, that's a bigger concern because, again, Buehler's going to get better. Kirsch is hopefully going to be back. Yamamoto's supposed to be back. Bobby Miller pitches well. Their bullpen's pretty set. They need to find a middle-of-the-rotation guy, won't give up too much, and then somebody to hit the back end of their order.
FT is headed to the MLB All-Star Game this year, and there's only one way you should be finding tickets for any ball game. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, so they have you covered for all of your baseball ticket needs.
I'm super pumped to hit the Futures game this year. That new skills competition looks electric.
I agree, Kratz. It's like the Olympics for baseball. Cannot wait to see that. With over 28 million downloads, SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app. Baseball season's in full swing, and you don't want to miss out. SeatGeek has your tickets to every game and, of course, concerts, festivals, and more.
Every ticket's backed by their buyer guarantee, and SeatGeek is the only site that lets you return your tickets ahead of the event with swaps.
And Kratz, FT came through for the people. Use our code FOUL for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with promo code FOUL. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app, please.
Kratz, do you agree with that as far as go for broke? I mean, I agree with AJ. They're World Series or bust, and they have to at least get to the freaking championship round of the National League playoffs. So what do they go for?
I mean, to me, you look at trying to pick those guys up, but you also hope that somebody maybe steps up. You hope that somebody, is Kevin Biggio going to be that guy at the bottom of the lineup? The Dodgers aren't going to necessarily go and get a Luis Robert to be like, oh, well, we'll find a spot for him. I think the Dodgers did a lot of their heavy lifting in the offseason because they spent $1.2 billion overall. So yes, it is World Series or bust. Like, it is a opportunity for them to do kind of like a Braves of 2021. We talk about that all the time because it was super successful. They won the World Series. But when you go and find essentially 4 new outfielders and you kind of mix them in and you just play whoever's hot, that would be my fear. Is, let's say the Dodgers had gotten Eddie Rosario and not Eddie Rosario. Who did they get? I forget. Whoever was carrying the Braves in that series. Do the Dodgers just platoon him because his platoon advantage is what it is? Or do they do what the Braves did when they pick up a hot player and just let him ride it out? And to me, you're trying to fit those people into a lineup that doesn't need much help, but it's glaring where the help is needed. Right after, like AJ said, after Teoscar in the lineup, it's 7, 8, 9, which will also get thinner once Max comes back. So it's not in dire need. There's just little tweaks that a World Series team needs to make.
Yeah, no question about it. Mookie Betts obviously visibly upset after the game. Why wouldn't you be? You could tell that he was, bummed that this happened. And this is what he said when speaking to reporters after the injury.
I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure. Obviously, I'll be watching the boys, cheering them on. But other than that, it's just kind of rest. Maybe use it as a mental break and be ready to go whenever it heals up.
What did you see on the pitch? Can you just talk about the pitch?
Oh, you just got to stay in there. You can't be scared, Got to stay in there, especially with a guy with a pretty good slider. So, I was just kind of up and in, and I was holding my ground, and unfortunately it hit me in the hand.
Have they given you a general timeline at all?
Not really. I'll go see the doctor tomorrow, and then we'll know more. But right now it's just let it heal.
Is that Shin the hand guy?
Yeah. Go see him tomorrow.
And Kratz, do you remember when Aaron Judge got hit in the hand and broke his hand, and then he wasn't quite the same when he returned? I mean, what's the realistic expectation? Because it's not like when Mookie comes back, whether it's 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever it is, that he's going to be exactly like he was. I mean, it takes you guys as position players, right? Time to get your hitting down, time to get your rhythm, your timing, and those types of things. So to expect that Mookie is going to be, MVP guy again when he comes back, I think is an unfair expectation.
I don't know. I expect a lot of Mookie. I expect like his ability to be able to withstand some of this stuff, to be able to come back and play at an above average level, even when he's hurting. AJ I never broke anything in my hands. I never started at the level of Mookie Betts or even AJ Przinsky to hitting. But AJ, you broke your wrist or you broke your hand?
I broke my wrist.
And how soon did you come back? 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
And how long did it really take you until your wrist was like this hurts?
I mean, I shouldn't have been playing, but I played the last month basically with a broken wrist. We were kind of in the race, so I just was like, I can play, so I just played. I mean, it hurt. It hurt more catching than it did hitting. But I was like, I'm back. I can play, so I'm going to play. Yeah, I mean, there's pain there. I mean, look at guys that have done this. It's they come back in 4 weeks. They probably should take 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. I remember David Ortiz broke his hamate when we were with the Twins. He came back in a couple weeks. He should have missed a lot longer. It wasn't the same for like a year. It takes a little bit of time because it just throws off your swing a little bit. It throws off your timing, and it just throws off your mechanics. And Mookie's such a hand movement, handsy hitter anyways. Just need him to get right because, again, they're going to be in the postseason.
And I would think mentally, though, you got to make sure you can swing the bat without feeling any pain. That's got to be a mental thing, too. Like you're almost anticipating, is this going to hurt or not? Is that the case? Like physically, it's one thing to get back, but you also have to make sure you're swinging without pain.
Yeah, true. But if there's a little bit of pain, you can get through it. I mean, there's plenty of times you play with pain. It's not like you go out there every day and you're like, oh, wow, I'm 100% today. I feel great.
Oh, sure, yeah.
There's a difference between being hurt and there's a difference between being injured. Mm-hmm. And Mookie's the only guy that can tell you, and I'll never question anybody's pain tolerance or what they can go through because every single person is different. And if Mookie thinks he can come back and play, then he's got to be ready. And he's got to – listen, when you first come back, there's going to be a little bit of pain no matter what injury you have or a little bit of a mental block. Look at Gavin Lux, right? It's a little bit of a knee. Acuna said it when he blew out his knee. So there's always going to be something in your mind. It's just how much can you handle and what can you deal with.
As AJ said, Mookie Betts was his MVP pick, and this is what the Dodgers are missing without Betts in their lineup. And, of course, what he can do for you defensively in the infield. I know there's been questions about his shortstop statistics, but, I mean, you can see what he's done for this team, guys. 10 home runs already this season, an average of 304, so he can hit for average, he can hit for power. You see what he's driven in there in that leadoff spot. I realize he's leadoff spot only one time. And stolen bases, 9. You see the OPS there as well. So it's just something that sets the tone of the lineup, obviously sets the table, and it's not an easy void to fill, but the Dodgers have no choice to do so, and nobody feels sorry for the Dodgers.
Scotty B here from FT. 1 in 5 Americans have learn a new language on their bucket list, and you should make 2024 the year you finally check it off the list with Babbel. Babbel is the science-backed language learning app that actually works. Babbel's designed by real people for real conversations.
Kratz here. Brawny, you know what I'm doing? I'm working on my Spanish so that I can get my pronunciation and accent game to the next level. Babbel's speech recognition technology makes that happen.
Good job, Kratz. So here's a special limited time deal for FT listeners. Right now, get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for FT listeners. Again, that's up to 60% off at babbel.com/foul, spelled BABBEL.com/FOUL. Rules and restrictions may apply. With Babbel, you can learn everything you need to have real-world conversations, and all it takes is just 10 minutes a day.
Hey, everybody. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.